that one in particular, was there a story that inspired you to write it, or?
I don't honestly remember. A lot of my songs come from lots of different places that eventually, pile up together and become a story. So I don't remember the specifics. I do remember I sat in my backyard and wrote that song.
Oh.
I've got a little picture I took of my notebook with the lyrics. So that's about all I remember from writing that one.
Cool. I'm curious, because you're a great storyteller with melodies, do you find yourself editing a lot, or do you actually I wrote that, that's how it's going to be?
It goes both ways. Quite often I find a song develops when I start performing it. So I'll write it and it'll stay more or less the way it is on paper, and then I go out and play it in bars or wherever, and it starts to develop from there. A lot of the time it's because I'm tripping over my words or that kind of thing, so it'll just streamline. And then sometimes, just a crowd reaction to something will change the direction it goes in.
Cool. You have one of my favorite songs of yours is the Tom Thompson song.
Yes.
Can you explain about that story for us?
So that song I wrote a few years ago, and it's funny that you say it's one of your favorites because it's always one that people talk about. So it's really nice to hear that. But I wrote it up at my cottage, and it's about one of my favorite artists is Tom Thompson, who was a painter in Canada who was part of the Group of Seven. And he just died mysteriously on Canoe Lake, which is a lake up in Algonquin. And there's kind of a Canadian mystery about it, whether he was murdered or whether he drowned or whatever. So the song kind of tells us that story, along with just kind of my admiration for their work and the way they depicted the Canadian landscape in a way that I haven't seen anyone else do.
Right. And can people see that or hear it online?
Yeah, there's a couple demo versions of it up on my SoundCloud, and there's a decent video of me playing it while busking this summer, so that's all up on my Facebook and website.
Cool. And your website is?
AndrewWilsonMusic.com, really easy.
Cool.
And there's links to everything else there. There's some free downloads of demos and things like that. So.
Awesome. Well, in the summer you got to busk around Mississauga. How was that experience for you?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was a really, really cool experience. I'd never done street performing of any kind before, and it was just really cool to people watch while you're playing the music. I had a couple dogs that stopped to listen. But it was really neat the way people interact with art on the streets. Some people just smile and walk by. Some people sat down and would listen for the full hour that I was playing. So it was a really neat way to engage with an audience in a different way than just kind of this being on stage and they're sitting down.
For sure, yeah. What can we look forward to for Andrew Wilson in the upcoming future? Near future, next year?
Working on an album, working on getting a proper EP up, hopefully sometime in the spring or next summer. And then, booking as many gigs as I can. I play with a group of my friends called the Castaways, so Andrew Wilson and the Castaways. We're doing as many gigs as we can and trying to get that EP done.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on all your success and
everything.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for performing. Andrew Wilson, make sure you check him out at andrewwilson.com.